So we're going to have a quick look at market failure. So by market failure, we're talking about a situation where the price mechanism, the market, doesn't arrive at the correct equilibrium position. So either we're making too much of this particular good or service, so we've got a surplus, or we're not making enough, so there is a shortage. So market failure is a failure to meet the market clearing position. And this can happen for a variety of reasons. For example, demerit goods will tend to be overconsumed and overproduced, and merit goods will be underconsumed. Okay, public goods won't be produced at all by the market, so that's a total market failure. Sometimes we might have a very powerful firm in the industry, a monopoly, that might restrict output and put prices up. And sometimes we simply don't know how good or bad something is, or how much of that particular thing that we should consume or produce. So information failure can lead to market failure. Also, the existence of externalities, whether they be costs or benefits, can cause markets to fail, because externalities aren't taken into account by the market. So here in this very familiar diagram, we've got a market not failing. So this market is has arrived at the equilibrium position, and we call that P star, Q star. The quantity supplied at that price is equal to the quantity demanded. Therefore, the market is cleared, there's no shortage, and there's no surplus. If the market arrives at the equilibrium position, if we arrive at P star, Q star, if the market clears, then we have achieved efficiency. We've achieved what we call allocative or economic efficiency. We've not overproduced or underproduced. We've maximised the total welfare in the economy. We can't do any better than this situation. This is a diagram for a demerit good, and we can see that the correct demand curve is D star, but we are actually in this economy demanding too much of this good. So we're demanding on the demand curve D rather than the demand curve that we should be on, which is D star. As a result, the economy is operating at PQ instead of where it ought to be operating, which is P star, Q star. So we are consuming too much of this product, and we're willing to pay a higher price than we ought to be able to. We can see that little shaded triangle there in the middle. That shows the amount of deadweight loss, the amount of welfare which is lost because of this market failure. And here we have the diagram for a merit good. We ought to be operating at D star on that demand curve, therefore operating at P star, Q star, but unfortunately we're underestimating how good this product is. So instead of operating at D star, we're operating on D. So we are willing to pay a lower price than we ought to be willing to pay, and we are consuming less of this product than we ought to be consuming. So we've got another little triangle there that hopefully you can see shaded, which is the welfare loss or deadweight loss associated with this market failure. In this diagram, there's some negative externalities in production. The firm isn't taking into account all of the costs, it's only taking into account what we call the private costs, and it's ignoring the negative costs. So we're actually operating on a supply curve which is further out from the origin than we ought to be operating. So we ought to be on S star, but we're actually on S. So that means that too much of this thing is being made and being sold and being consumed, and the price is too low because we're not taking into account all of the costs of production. And the welfare loss associated with this market failure is shown once again by the shaded triangle. So if we have market failure because of the existence of demerit goods such as cigarettes and alcohol, or merit goods such as education and healthcare, maybe the existence of public goods which the market can't cope with, such as street lighting or public parks, maybe because we've got very big firms that abuse their power and exploit consumers. Maybe we've got information failure, maybe we don't know about the true costs or true benefits of consumption. Maybe there are external costs, such as pollution, which are ignored by producers, or external benefits which might be ignored by consumers. If we have those situations and we have market failure as a result, governments might want to intervene into the market to improve efficiency. So, for example, we might want to put a tax on a demerit good. We might want to put a subsidy on a merit good, provide public goods for free. We might want to reduce the size of firms. We might want to pass information on. We might want to ensure that those external costs and benefits are taken into account. Okay, so that intervention is designed to increase the efficiency of a failing market.